Action, that's what they do, right?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, guys, so Jamie here with Mokhtar. We're in Dubai and we just wanted to kind of crunch a few bits and pieces, and anyone that's looking to diversify their portfolio, we thought we would quickly do a video just to explain why Dubai is a very, very good option.
First of all, Dubai has a growing economy right now in the market. So we believe that whenever you have a growing economy, its real estate market from an investor standpoint will grow as well. Dubai is a very safe city, so safety and security. It has zero taxes. There are very attractive prices when it comes to prices per square foot. If we compare it to London, the UK in general, or big international cities to what it has been being compared to.
I was going to ask what the average yield is in Dubai. I know in Milton Keynes, for all my clients that are buying in Milton Keynes at the moment, the average yield you expect to get really, after paying any service charges, ground rents and things, is on average about 3% to 5% if we're lucky. In Dubai, it's a lot higher than that, I believe.
Yes, exactly. So in Dubai, we can expect, depending on the location and the nature of the property, if it's a villa or an apartment and the size of it, but we can estimate that it can be between 6 to 7.5% net rental yield after cutting all expenses. If we're renting it long term, and if we're renting it short term, then we can expect anywhere between 9 to 11% net ROI.
So fantastic yields there. Also, would you advise anyone looking to buy in Dubai now, would it be best to buy somewhere as an investment just to rent it, or is it still a good option to buy properties and then flip them before they complete?
So that's a very good question, Jamie, and I've been asked many times this question. I believe that it will depend on your strategy as an investor. Are you a long-term investor or are you a short-term investor? Do you want a quick value in the market? It will depend on your financial situation and where that Dubai investment falls into that in context. I would personally go for definitely something that we can flip because it will bring much higher returns. But if you're trying to build a portfolio in Dubai, it would be healthy to make a mix of both.
What kind of payments are expected when you reserve a property off plan in Dubai? And what's the difference if you buy a property that's second-hand residential home that's already been lived in by somebody?
So if we're looking at the secondary market, a ready property that we're buying it from a third party, from the seller, for example, then we will have to give the whole payment right up front. You will be able to get a mortgage on that if you're eligible for a mortgage depending on your annual revenues, and this is something that we can arrange from a local bank here in Dubai. Now the property will be mostly for an end user, someone who wants to move in immediately, because that is not where we will be able to make the highest returns in the market or the highest capital appreciation. Now everyone knows that Dubai is an off-plan market, so the biggest value, if you want to buy something 20%, 25% cheaper and expect a capital appreciation, it would be an off-plan, and that gets us to the off-plan payment facilities. So you will be able to pay on a payment plan on 3 years to 4 years time during construction, and depending on the development, it can vary from 90% during construction, 10% on handover, up to 40% during construction, 30% during construction, and 70% on handover. And that last bit on handover, that you can take a loan from the bank as well to optimize your cash.
Is there anything in particular, or any location in particular, that people should be looking for to guarantee a safer return? So is there anywhere they should be avoiding, or any particular developer, maybe someone that hasn't been heard of or someone new entering the market, or is there anybody that is exceptional, that's always delivered really good projects that you think are definitely worth keeping an eye on and is a safer bet than risking their money that they're putting into?
Yes, so that's a very good question, Jamie, and I think that this is a subject that will take books in order to elaborate on it, because Dubai is such a complex market. There is so much values to be gained, but the margin for error is big as well. Since it's a city in the construction progress, we need to evaluate which location will grow at which time. So we analyze the demand, we assess when will that demand absorb that supply in the market to make sure that we don't buy something and wait 10 years until that tenant comes and pays the right price. So I would say number one, if I want to structure this, the answer to your question, I would say location and timing. Location combined with timing is something that you should be very careful about without entering into details. Second, the developer. Developer reputation is extremely important. Has the developer delivered on time in the past? Has he delivered good quality finishing to what he has promised? Did the developer's developments appreciate, and do end users love living in that development? How is the post-handover management? Are the costs of running the property not too high? So all these questions are very important. So second is developer. Third is how much stock have they launched in one particular. You don't want to buy a property where you have 5,000 properties as well in that same building and not enough demand. So of supply and demand, very important. Do they have the right amenities to accommodate for the residents that want to live there with the right purchasing, with the right willingness to pay? And last but not least, a good payment plan will optimize your cash when you're going into an investment of that sort.
One of the main things I hear quite a lot with Dubai is lots of people that buy properties off plan, and they've been told that they're ready in a year's time, or say 16 months time, 18 months time. They overrun quite a lot, don't they? Is there anything that people should look out for? Is it, again, that certain developers are well known for being late with projects?
Depends on the development and the developer that you're buying from. It's extremely important to be careful. If I want to answer your question, even though it is a little bit hard to anticipate, we would always give ourselves a margin for 3-month delays just to be able to anticipate any potential problems that were unexpected. And this can happen either from the developer's side on the construction progress, or from the Dubai Land Department side when it comes to the last inspections. The DIWA, for example, which is the electricity and water company that makes all the installation at the last moment. So you have several factors that come into play, but to mitigate that risk upstream, we do our due diligence every week on the developer, their track record, which contractor are they using for that development? Is the project too optimistic? Are they over-promising? We can be able to feel if they are over-promising and they will risk a delay. For example, if they're building a 100-story building, you will imagine that they will not deliver in 2.5 or 3 years' time. It can take them up to 5 years, sometimes 6 years to hand over. If they're too optimistic on the amenities, too much water facilities, then you would expect that, of course, they will not be able to hand over on time. So several factors from experience and from our due diligence.
So if, for instance, I put down a deposit, 20%, 30% or something, on a new development I was going to buy, and they said it'd be ready in 18 months' time, at what point in the 18-month journey do they request the rest of the funds? And if it was delayed, because we'd know as the project's going along, they'd anticipate a delay, does that mean that your final payment date is delayed as well, because you only pay on completion? Or is there a set date that people need to be aware of, that they'll be making that payment regardless?
Precise question. I'll give you a precise answer. So that last payment on completion is due on completion. So that's for sure. They need to complete the last inspection report from the Dubai Land Department needs to be clear in order for them to pay and receive the key. However, during construction, some developments have a payment plan linked to construction progress, and that construction progress is governed by the Dubai Land Department, with inspectors who go on the site and assess the construction progress. And after that, they give an invoice that you are due because we have completed 60% or 70%. Some are not. Some are not linked to construction progress. So we need to be careful about that as well.
Okay, fantastic. And one of the big things as well in the UK that we suffer with in the UK in general is tenants. If we have a bad tenant for any reason, I mean, we rent guarantee all of our properties that we manage, so hundreds and hundreds of houses that we fully manage, and every single one of them have got rent guaranteed. However, not many agents or any other agent I know of offers that as an estate agency or a real estate agency. Now, We get a lot of people come to ourselves to rent properties out because they've had a situation where a tenant hasn't paid rent and they've had to wait 6 months, 12 months to get a tenant out. They've lost the rent, so on and so forth, because the court process is so slow in the UK. We just had a very quick conversation about this, and in Dubai, what's the difference here if somebody rented a property from yourself and they didn't pay the rent?
So, first of all, I would like to tell you, Jamie, that here in Dubai, we find less people who are not keen to pay the rent. And that is because of two reasons. First of all, people who are coming here in Dubai have a good purchasing power. So
Okay.
that's number one. Number two, rental payments are usually paid 1 year in advance or 6 months in advance, so on a one check or in a two check basis. And the third, here the government, to enforce their law, they're very quick and agile, contrary to a lot of red tape that I might know of in the UK.
Yeah.
So whenever you have a rent that has defaulted, you go to the Dubai Land Department, you file a complaint, and within 1 to 2 month period maximum, this tenant gets enforced to either pay or get out of the property.
Okay, so within 1 month, normally tenant is evicted from the house,
Evicted,
and the police
100%.
arrive, and that's it. No more problems.
Exactly.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds very good. But okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, buddy. And
With
if you want
pleasure.
any other questions answered or anything, let us know. We're very, very happy to help. Diversify your portfolio, guys. See you soon.